record on camera. See?
All right.
Everything. And for the Oscar on you.
Okay.
Action.
This is the Vance Center, and I want to welcome you again to the Journey, which is our podcast. Today we have a very interesting guest, Dr. Bryant Lee Phillips. Welcome, Dr. Phillips.
Great to be here. Great to be
Good.
here. Good to be with
And
you.
today we would like to discuss some of the things that you're involved with as a leader and
Absolutely.
author
Yes.
and speaker in many areas. I understand you wrote 2 books.
Yes. First book I wrote was called Living Life in the Zone, The Regal Lifestyle.
Yes.
It teaches principles about how to get out of stuck and how to move into success. Then also principles on how to scale your business, how to move from the basement into the boardroom. And my second book is called The Dream Maker, Awakening the Genius Within. I believe a lot of people have an untapped genius, untapped creative ability, and an untapped mindset, because so as the world gets bigger, people's minds get smaller. AI is taking over.
Yes.
So people are not thinking on their own. So I'm excited about both those books, and they are in big distribution, particularly for youth, for fathers, for families, and for business owners, because I'm really big on fathers and helping fathers build businesses and families create legacy.
Okay, that's fine. And you're working in the area of Philadelphia, and also you work in the area of Norristown. You have
Yes,
knowledge
sir.
of Norristown. Tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done in Philadelphia and also in the Norristown area.
One of our main things is called the fatherhood. We just added manhood because I got dads that were in the program that were not actually the birth father, but they were in relationship with women who had children. And so we expanded from fatherhood / manhood, sons, fathers, and then men that are just trying to engage their life, trying to figure out how can I be a better father? How can I be a great father? And if I didn't have a dad, what do I do since I didn't have a model? And then sons, I have an interesting story. One of my friends were having a prom send-off. I couldn't go to it. I was out of town and coming back in town, and he tells me, he's sending me pictures on Friday night. Hey, Uncle B, here's my pictures, boom, boom, boom. Sorry you can't be at the prom send-off. The next day I get back in town. The next day I look up, and he's walking into our meeting with his father.
Wow.
I'm like, and he's looking, and he got his head down after the meeting. So I said, what happened? He said, on the way to the after prom, my girlfriend tells me she's pregnant.
Oh, wow.
So his life just automatically changed. And so he's an example of how your life can change just like that. And you move up, you're just understanding manhood, and now you have accelerated to fatherhood. You skipped being a husband all the way to fatherhood. So that was a great awakening for me about expanding the definition of what we do around fathers. So across the city,
Right.
every county, we host fatherhood groups. Our 3 areas are advocacy. When the guy has to go to court, we can't represent you in court, but we have attorneys who set your case up so you go and look like a champ. The second one is therapy. We offer 6 to 8 free therapy sessions for brothers who need therapy in area of anger management, conflict resolution, relationship development, and just getting their minds back on track. We have guys that are just coming out of prison, and some that just have issues that you just can't dive into just by having a session with them. And the third one is training. Looking forward to partnering up with Jay here in this area about doing some training in the area of robotics, teaching drone training, and also how to fly a drone, how to man it, how to make a business with it, and also what do we do about this robotics? How do we handle that, and how do I give a guy a chance to upgrade his income so he can take care of his family?
Now, you mentioned Jay, and who is Jay?
Jay Barnett,
Okay.
Yeah, working with him, and we just I met him through his son. I did a session
Okay.
at Engine 78. Shout out to Engine 78. His son said, you got to talk to my dad. I said, okay, good. And we got a chance to talk on the phone, and it's like we knew each other, hit it off. He told me about his background at Temple, working with drones, working with robotics. And I said, hey, he told me he had a curriculum. I said, hey, we got to sit down and talk, because I think we can expand the definition of what we can offer our sons and fathers, and even women eventually, to have them
Yes.
come in and get this training.
And what inspired you to start the Dream Makers?
The Dreammakers was an inspiration from years ago. I kept seeing churches and nonprofit groups totally focus on the tithing and offering mechanism for churches, but there was nothing that actually taught the members of those churches how to really build a business.
Okay.
You know, they were always asking for money, but not really concerned about how you made your money. And they weren't concerned about, did you have a house, a second or third stream of income? What are you going to do about retirement? You know, how do you maintain a house once you get it? And so we started, my wife and I started a micro fund, and it was small. I think it was about $30,000.
Right.
And we gave each person $1,000 to start their business. And people came back and said, man, this is like a dream come true. And that name kind of stuck, Dream Makers, that we were making people's dreams come true by not only giving the spiritual side, but also the practical side, how to be
Yes.
powerful in their personal life.
Right. Now, you mentioned Jay. Jay Bagley is with Temple University.
Yes, Jay Bagley.
Yes, and he is with our drone program here in the at the Vance Center.
Excellent.
And we use the drone program as an initiative for in the area of aviation
Right.
to help the youth to understand aviation and how to get into that profession itself.
Yes.
And we try to mentor them through that. We also have the Tuskegee Airmen
Yes, you talked about that.
here at our center. And we have the, I would call them the simulators. We have
Right.
about 4 simulators located
Excellent.
in this very same building.
Excellent.
And just as we're going through this podcast is very, very, very early in our relationship with the Vance Center. And we're learning now to get the information out
Yeah.
in terms of mentorship, people
Yes.
like yourself, to get the word out to the community in terms of what they can do to help our community be a stronger and better area for our youth. In terms of working as a mentor, you had a lot of that stuff happen within your own family,
Yes.
because you're a father.
Yes, I am. Yes.
What are some of the changes you see as far as here in 2025, as far as the youth, and also what is occurring right now, and what we can do in our community to make it even better for these young people?
No, when I say a lot of entitlement, lack of responsibility, lack of emotional intelligence with a lot of our youth. A lot of our fathers and moms and families are just at an edge of economic not having opportunities given to them. And when that happens, when a person feels like they don't have an opportunity, they don't have a future, they don't have a plan of execution, they pretty much just go to the street, go to drugs, sex, clubbing, you know, or just turn to violent behavior. I see that happening quite a bit in our culture where there's no accountability, can't handle conflict resolution. Jay Bagley and I had a conversation about just the whole aspect of dealing with youth, how to really redirect their minds. And you can't redirect a young man's mind until you actually find out what's
Yes.
going on in his family. You know, where did he come from? Who mentored him? We always talk about you want to be a model to follow. So those are things that's why the fatherhood program and the manhood program is big to me, because we deal with that issue about, can we help this guy emotionally get on track? Can we help this young girl get on track? Does she think she's pretty? My wife runs a program called The Return of the Classy Lady. Like she went somewhere. Like, classy is out, ratchet's in. And so she runs a program for teenagers. And we found that once we started talking to the young girls, my wife started getting the moms wanted to come, because now they're getting the information about undergarments was a big conversation for ladies.
Yes.
And how to handle men should they get married, you know.
Right.
So the issue of male and female relationships are such in a turmoil, and when that happens, if the relationship's bad, then revenue will also be challenged also.
Picking out various steps and procedures and things that young people should follow in order to start somewhere
Yeah.
in terms of reaching out into the community. And not only for the people who are reaching out, but also for community leaders and organizations such as the Vance Center.
Yes, sir.
What do you recommend for both of those two areas, both the individual and also the organizations?
Individually, I think you have to create a safe place. a safe place for people to be able to express what the need is. I think a lot of organizations, particularly government organizations, assume what the need is or throw money at a need and never ask the person that lives in the neighborhood what's going on. Assess what the need is first, and then give them a safe place to express themselves. Number two, you got to give a young man or older man or a woman the opportunity to get trained. What are my skills? Let's do a skill assessment. Let's assess what kind of skills you have, what kind of gifts do you have, what natural gifts do you have, what genius do you possess. So first, helping them discover their gifts, develop those gifts, and then demonstrate those gifts so they can make some dollars. You know, and once they make dollars, then they can duplicate it for everyone around them. I think that's the 5-tier system. Most people don't discover who they are. They're not clear. From heritage, background, whether you're light skin, dark skin, Montgomery County, Delaware County, or Philadelphia County, they just don't discover who they really are. Teach them how to develop those gifts, and then demonstrate them constantly. Give them a chance, give them an opportunity, like at the Vance Center, give them a chance to come in, get on those machines, work alongside you, hear about your history, working with the police department, hear about Jay's history, working with Temple. Got to have those mentors around them to kind of give them the atmosphere. Most young people are not exposed. Exposure brings exponential behavior, bad or positive. So we want to get that child and that adult positive mentoring.
Good. Here at the Vance Center, we have an organization here, and we also have the resources.
Yes, sir.
And we have the expertise, and we have the people here with many, many years of experience. And you know Jay, how long he's been down at Temple, and myself being in Montgomery County for about 48 years in law enforcement. Those resources are available here. What do you recommend as far as not only for us to get that information out to the community? How do you feel in terms of the community responding back to us in terms of what recommendations do you make?
Well, I just dealt with something like this not too long ago. One of my key gifts, I believe, is creating collaborations and partnerships. Michael Dom works with me at Child First. We just had an event at our location at 4601 Market Street with BRAG, Black Realtors Alliance Group. Over 100 plus people came to that meeting and talking about legacy building, how to do it through real estate. That's an example. But here's the key thing about any of our counties, and particularly in Montgomery County, is making sure that we offer collaborations. How can the Vance Center collaborate with you? How can we partner? What can we do together? Your strengths to our strengths. How can we do things on a one-time basis or an ongoing basis? What kind of partnerships can we develop with the police department? What kind of partnerships can we develop with athletic departments? What partnerships can we develop with the Eagles? Go Eagles! What kind of partnerships can we make with the Sixers? Because with the wealth you have here at the Vance Center, making those partnerships expands exposure, also gives you a tremendous level of marketing. Your audience meets my audience, and now we understand what we each other offer each other.
Right. This could be a tipping point for our organization, having people like yourself come to our organization. I think those recommendations that you have made here today are outstanding.
Thank you.
In terms of what we should be doing, and the fact that we have been building and building and building. And I've always heard, build it and they shall come.
Not necessarily.
That does not necessarily happen all the time.
That's true.
But we are ready, willing, and able with the people that we have, and the structure that we have, and the resources and the programs that we have here. And I would make a recommendation to those listeners or those people who are listening today to tune into our website.
Absolutely.
Which is, vance.us.com.
All right.
It's very easy to remember, vance.us.com. And they can put that in their browser, and our webpage will come up with all the things that you and I are discussing here that we have available today.
Absolutely.
And so I want to thank you for, coming here in terms of explaining those things that you have and those your expertise. And what kind of a message would you leave with us today in terms of moving forward in a very positive way?
Well, first I want to say thanks for having me here. Jay Bagley, our connection, because of his son I'm here. So relationships really create a powerful tool for understanding and also connection. So I want to thank Jay Bagley for making sure I got here. I want to thank you for opening up the space to be with you and to connect with you.
Yes.
And to see how we can 10x these relationships. Your expertise, your wisdom, your knowledge. I'm going to learn from it, and also the audience that I bring to you is going to learn from you also. I think one of the key things I just want to leave with our viewers today is that relationships create revenue.
Yes.
Number two, making sure that we not only hear what people say, but also what they don't say. You know, diving behind the 8 ball and saying, what really does that young man need? What does that young woman need? What does that young mom need? And lastly, I want to highlight that I'm looking forward to partnering. Jay Bagley, we talked about doing something around the robotics,
Yes.
A robotics academy for dads and helping them. The key thing I want to make sure that everyone out there knows that the Vance Center is open to connect with you. There's resources here, there's knowledge here, there's mentoring here, and they have a heart to really serve other people. And so if you're looking for a place to connect to, some place to plug into, and you didn't know this existed, now you know, and you have no excuse. So we're coming for you. The Vance Center is coming for you to make sure you get in the game and understand the game you're playing, and do not minimize what's going on in the world, but also recognize what's going on right here in your own county. So I appreciate you.
I really appreciate that plug and that information that you got out there for the Vance Center, because we have to start somewhere.
Yes, sir.
All of the people that are involved, and you mentioned it, you're talking about hundreds of years of experience that are coming in and out of these doors that are here.
Rich history.
As people who can mentor these young people. And when you go onto the website, those people who are looking for something for their youth, send them here to the Vance Center. This is some place where we can start. And believe me, this is just a start. And we have a lot of resources here. We got a lot of experience. We have a lot of time put into this organization to mainly mentor our youth and community people within our community, both organizations and individuals. So I want to thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For coming here.
Thank you, sir.
And
been a pleasure.
we look forward that this is just a start.
We're getting started.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.